In the Korean gangs of Yanbian, there's an unwritten rule. The more tattooed, this heavily tattooed man rose to the top at a very young age. No matter where he went, but if he had the chance to choose again, he would never walk this path. 10 years ago, Taezy was with just his iron fists, he single-handedly took over, and whenever he drank, he became even more. He couldn't hold back. During one gang fight, he lost control and after that, but in those 10 years, Taezy became a different person. He often pulled out a notebook, always trying to write. He treated the notebook like a treasure. It was actually a gift from the mother of the man. She not only forgave him, but even accepted him. She only hoped he would change, and as the saying goes, 10 years passed although the outside world Taezy still cherished the notebook she gave him. After his release, instead, he found a girl he'd never met. She bluntly said he was embarrassed. He visited a modern bathhouse but years in prison had left him out of touch with. He didn't even understand how the bathhouse locked, too shy to ask for help. He just kept fumbling again, but the bathhouse worker, hearing all the noise, was clearly annoyed. What the hell are you doing? How? If this had been that guy's face would have been swollen but now, Taezy clearly someone you could easily So when the bathhouse worker heard him fiddling with the locker again, he stormed over, but then he saw this and was too scared to say a foreign rap playing. Fresh out of the bath, Taezy happened to walk by his just moments ago. Changwoo was, but the second he saw he looked like he'd seen a ghost. Still, he had no choice and greet Taezy politely. Why ya come in? Sir. Ning, I'm gonna go give this guy my ticket. Using Taezy went to visit that man also treated him with great but it was clear their kindness wasn't. They were just afraid Taezy might try to reclaim his old position. They even had someone shadow him to see if he had plans to take their turf. Taezy then visited a restaurant named. The owner was the mother of the man he accidentally killed. Over the years, she came to see the goodness in. She no longer and even treated him like she gave him a home after she closed the restaurant early. She even wrapped the meat in lettuce and fed it to him. Even though his mouth was, he refused to spit, which made Ziju a little jealous. Ever since her brother, she hadn't seen her mother the next day. Wanting to remove his tattoos but his inked up body drew attention from all the The doctor told him, based on removing all the tattoos would cost. With no money, Taezy took a job planning to save up for the tattoo. One day, Taezy took Ziju. Unfortunately, a local thug, he had a crush on her for 2 years and mistook Taezy for her boyfriend. Without warning, he then dragged him to an abandoned warehouse and beat him savagely. Even after he called in reinforcements. Back in the day, they wouldn't have but Taezy had vowed during the scuffle, his shirt revealing his dragon tattoo. Everyone froze in. The lead thug was especially shaken. That night, Ziju and begged him not to. She didn't want her, saying it would be their little. Meanwhile, a man named Kao Panshui bought a plot to Taezy's mother's sunflower restaurant, but she refused to sell. She wouldn't give in. Angered by Kao Panshui snapped, "There's no deal in Gyeongdu that doesn't involve. Cry all you want, it won't change a thing." That night, he sent gang ordering them to get rid. He even promised that whoever succeeded would get a new nightclub. Changwoo immediately accepted. The next day, he led his men. They stormed in and Taezy stood up, red just as Changwoo walked in. When he saw Tazy, he immediately called because back in the day, he used to run with Tazy. Yeah. Red Rip. Knowing he was no match, Chang-woo left with his men. But the restaurant was already, and this was only the beginning. Soon after, Tazy received his first. He bought new shoes for his and a new MP3 player for Ziju clearly, but acted tough and asked, trying to. Hearing that, Tazy simply took the player back. But as soon as he got back, Ziju brought him a cup of coffee. Looking into her eager, Tazy gave her the player and took the coffee back in his. Ziju eagerly took self and finally started to accept. The next day, Ziju and snapped a precious family photo. Later, the councilman and saw it still hadn't been. He flew into a rage. That night, he summoned and ordered them to take down the otherwise, he'd stop her. Unbeknownst to him, that night, the drive 10 years ago, now, he was repaid. He warned Tazy that the restaurant and urged him to take his family. Otherwise, things. Sure enough, the next genre returned while Tazy bringing his goons to the. They began smashing everything in. Ankwi tried to but was shoved to the ground. Ziju saw it happen and swung her camera at him in anger. But how could one girl take on a gang of. Even worse, nearby, without lifting a finger? Meanwhile, Tazy was facing. A group of punks showed up demanding he install wings on their car. Slap those wings on, or you're dead. What? Are you deaf? You want. That's my little bro. Give me 10 seconds, my bro'll handle it. Still acting. Enough already. Shut. Take it off. Then the gang started no matter how much they mocked him. Tazy never fought back. The shop owner rushed out to but was knocked to the ground too. Seeing this, Tazy threw himself over the bar, taking every blow himself. A police car was parked nearby, waiting for Tazy to retire. If he did, they'd throw him back in, but Tazy stuck to his vow. Seeing a crowd gathering, the punks had no choice. When Tazy got home and saw his rage was overwhelming. Alone, he went to the nightclub to confront the councilman. There's a lot I could do to ruin you. Keep pushing me, though Tazy phrased it as a request. To the councilman, it was a blatant threat. As soon as the councilman called urging them to take care. That night, the thug who liked mocking Tazy's tattoos, he pointed out how Tazy did it. Then he insulted Ankwi for adopting the man who killed her. Tazy couldn't take it anymore, but was stopped by Ziju. She was stunned and unable to believe that Tazy was the one. That night, she asked her mother. Her mother told her that when Tazy cried and apologized, she realized he wasn't just someone who. And over the next, she visited him whenever. That's when she truly saw Tazy's need. So she decided to adopt him as her own son. After hearing this, he was already preparing to leave, but Ziju told him she had already forgiven him. My mom's the real. She fed me so much I nearly passed out. I think back to how she used to chase me around. She probably would have made a great teacher. She even gave me her knife. Aside from being older, she's perfect. You're really just a kid inside. My mom even gave away her egg to a stranger girl. Did you see that? That moment almost made me cry on Livestream. The next day, Mom photographed and brought it straight. The diary clearly revealed he was the mastermind. If not for him, her son wouldn't. She warned that if he ever came after them again, but after she left, the councilman gave a silence. That afternoon, as a motorcycle sped toward her, the rider smashed a brick. She collapsed to the ground. A clear warning from the council. Seeing her daughter unconscious in the hospital, Mom realized they were no match but for him. She pulled out the land deed, read they would leave and start over. Just Tazy went to see he said they'd be moving away and begged him not to cause the councilman just to eliminate. He told Tazy to leave behind. Tazy said nothing. For his family's sake, He lay. A sharp knife slashed across him. Tazy didn't even make a sound. Thankfully, it was. He went easy on him, saying with proper care, his hand on the ride back home. Byung-young told him to leave this place. That was his farewell gift. They thought it was finally over, but the councilman issued one because Mom still had dirt on. She had to be eliminated. That evening, Mom was looking at it, lost in one last moment. A man in black white. It was Yang Ji sent. He wrapped his hands and just like that he took the diary copy and even forced her fingerprint onto it, as if she. When Tazy opened the door again, he saw her hanging from the. Mom. He cried out in anguish, begging her to wake up, but all that remained was sorrow. Soon after, he held a. He stood there, his eyes were vacant. He didn't know what he did or how to explain all of this, but when he returned to the restaurant, he saw construction. He knew it wasn't that. Sure enough, while sorting through her balloon, found a familiar earring one. Tazy now knew for certain at the same time, his sister. Her first question was, Tazy couldn't bring. He lied and said. Later, Tazy went out. By chance, he discovered an old photo. Looking at the happiness, Tazy finally broke down in tears. The only hope he had. It felt like life had. That night, Tazy started trying to drown the pain, but he realized the pain, and at that moment Tazy. Meanwhile, the councilman was throwing a. But just as the festivities peaked, a scream. Brother Lei. This Xinjiang guy, he said, pay up, or he'll smash your face in. Good. Okay. In the end, Tazy cornered Chair. All he wanted was to live a clean life, but no one gave him the chance. After eliminating everyone, he just sat quietly in the middle of. In a daze, he saw though they only spent a few months, those were the happiest days of his mother was like a ray of light in his. She illuminated a life. If it hadn't been for the cruelty, maybe they could have had maybe Tazy could have kept the